Uh, Opening face-off against Triple Crown. There's quite a few items that I saw, so we'll just go through it and I'll stop when I get to that point. Right here, I would have liked to see Fee go in to the zone faster, but we saw that she didn't, so we'll go down instead. We're able to get a turnover here, and yeah, I guess one thing I did notice is, so Rayhan loses the puck there. At that point, we don't need you to go in there. As you can see, Fee's already there. So what you should decide on is, I need to get to an open area of the ice, which is probably going to be here. Make sure you form those triangles, or and eventually possibly into this area. So let's kind of, why is that important? So you can see how, boom, we've now basically forced a turnover, but you decide to come in and join on the party. So too many people, and what ends up happening is, once that loose puck comes out, there's nobody to pass to. Whereas if you were here, right, all this open space, and plus you can come in closer towards the net, we were able to do a 2-on-1 situation. So kind of a missed chance right there. That's okay. We're able to turn back around. Here's another slight mistake. Always stick down on the ice. Can't get that puck if your stick's up in the air, and there you go. You see it's a missed opportunity. A little bit of forechecking pressure right now. Again, here is some gap issues. So what does that mean? If you're going to allow these forwards coming out with this big stretch passes, why are we not abusing them? Ripe for the abuse. And boom, look at that. All this space that we gave them up, we say, oh, come on in, the water's warm, and deked out, and they're inside the zone, right? So defensive mistakes, a lot of positioning mistakes, mostly all positioning mistakes. And then, oh my gosh, that is as risky as it gets, straight across through the slot. Yikes. All right, so Mr. Dennis has the puck, thinks he can power through everyone. We say no, and puck is out of the zone. Jess has stripped the puck off of him. Coming in on the attack. We'll drop pass back to Lena. Shot got blocked. Oh, a little bit of a positioning. Not a big fan of Alex right here. So he's got to either decide, either be more on the boards or more in the slot. So he's gone like kind of too close. So I have said before, like we like to get nice and close, but this might be too close. So I guess in relation, so if Lena's right here, he's kind of here. I would have liked to see him more here. So what that would mean is more like here. Why? Because if that puck comes out and there is no lane, he can shoot it, and it's got a good angle. But because he's past the face-off dot, he's not even here. He's more here. This is a pretty crappy angle, right? It's so tiny. So offensively kind of sucks, and then that puck wasn't able to get to him. So positioning, right? And here comes Brian on the attack. Alex is able to shut that door pretty quickly. Tries to do some fancy moves. He's trying to get it out of the zone. Bit of puck protection. Trying to keep it low. And a little shove. A little shove. What is that? Oh, Alex is already getting under the skin. It's only been 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the game. And here we go, positioning wise. Ernest clears it back the other way, and Alex comes out nice and low. He's able to pick up that puck with speed. So that's a big kind of difference right there. Whereas sometimes we're stopping the puck up here, facing it. But this, he's allowed to skate up with some general speed, so that's good to see. Alright, I gotta give props to Kathy. She is one of our newest defenders, but she's already picking up gap control pretty quickly. Maybe the quickest of the bunch so far. Let's highlight this. So gaps, like it's not bad. It's like 1, 2, yeah, it's about 2, maybe 3 stick lengths away from the puck carrier. But notice how, well, I guess I'm not sure if she actually did shoulder check, but she's keeping, like, she's doing a good job staying in like not quite so aggressive where Sam could just blow by her, but she is able to lunge forward for that passing lane. So this is pretty much as perfect as it goes. Like if we ignore all these people, and if we did this like a 2-on-1 situation, so you basically is playing it perfectly, which allows boom a little poke check out. Yeah, everyone else is fine too. So I got a couple notes on this offensive attack. This is pretty funny, but we're able to go back in. I think he had space to go in, but drop pass right at the blue line. Bit sketchy, like especially because Fee doesn't have speed. I think he got a little bit good room to work it in, but it's fine. Sends it off to Ray, so he has speed there and he's able to get in the zone. So that's better than what Kathy did to Fee. And then into the zone, right here, probably a good chance to just send it up to Kathy, and then like right, a nice shoulder check would have already seen. Holy smokes, there's so much space to work with. Therefore, boom, boom, shot makes sense. Right. But what Ray did is not inherently bad. Just thought maybe that's an opportunity. Sends it down to Dave. One touch to Lena. Kind of missed the mark. He sends it up to Ray. And he walks the blue line perfectly in an area to get a nice shot. Right. He moved it out and in. Like to see maybe some people in the laneway to try to get a tip shot, but that's fine. So this is already better than last week, where Ray was in the middle lane and decides to take it back towards the boards and never shoot. This week he's going towards the middle and shoots. So way better. Ready? Alright, here's another one. Rayhan seems to be my best example subject. So puck's coming up here. You can see how he is going straight towards the boards. And we kind of talked about that. It should be fine. He's kind of relatively far enough that he can still kind of change directions, going this way, going that way. We have talked about going into the boards at an angle, right? It's going in the, like, here's an example. If we're going down this board, go down an angle rather than straight. Or always want to do this or do this. Okay? So now part 2 of that equation is whenever you're going to go towards the boards with someone else, be prepared to get stick lifted. And when a stick lift comes, it's usually going to be powerful. So that means a lot of beginners, if you're not steady on your skates, a big powerful stick lift might knock you off balance. But what do you want to do? Get a nice wide stance, get ready, get low, bend your knees, and put your stick down. Grip. Or you can have it loose. You know, if they're going to come in powerful, you can just kind of dodge it and go back the other way. So just watch right here. He's got to get that brace. Boom, big stick lift, and now he's knocked off balance. And it's awkward, right? Goes right into the boards. Same with the other guy. Boom, big powerful stick lift. He's knocked a little bit off balance, and that's kind of what happens. So just kind of be prepared for that. All right, we got a bit of a defensive issue coming up here. Let's break it. Well, let's watch it, then break it down. I'll let you see what the problem is. It'll become glaringly obviously in just a moment. Boom! Holy smokes, is that dangerous? All right, let's rewind here. Let's break it down. Who do we blame? Always gotta have that blame game, right? So Carrie Ann's got the attacker. That's fine. We got their forward filling in for defense. That's fine. We got 2 attackers. 1 and 2. Jess is probably going to want to pay attention to number 3. Ernest is definitely going to pay attention to the guy in the back door. Let's watch how this unfolds. Carrie Ann's doing a good job keeping Steve in the corner. So Jess is on her. That's fine. Looks like we're okay. Ernest is snoozing. Forgotten about the backdoor man. And Rayhan a little bit late to the party. To Dave. Let's see how this unfolds. Boom. Touch pass. It's okay. No problem. Mr. Ernest is snoozing. Boom. One timer. Oh. Yikes. Alright, so another item. We got a big glaring weakness for Fee. It's been an ongoing one. It's a breakout, mainly a breakout issue. And let's kind of break it down step by step. What is the problem? So here comes the puck over to Ernest. Easiest way, I would normally say, is continue down, but maybe you can take a wider path, but you really need to be facing Ernest this whole time. Another way you can do is if you want to pivot backwards and go out this way, that's fine, but you need to have your body facing the man with the puck. So let's watch it. You see how right here, he decides to turn around. Let's count how many seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. She finally realizes that's 4 seconds later of forechecking pressure that she realizes, wait a second, there's pressure, that puck's never going to get to me. And she's already way too high up in the zone. She's not helping them out. She is the center. Keep in mind. Now, go all the way back down. Puck is moved to Ray. So again, we can take a nice pathway down low. Nice and close. And be able to support, but let's count again. Turns up ice. Now her back's turned. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Oh, realizes the puck's not gonna get to her, so she has to hustle all the way back down again. What could we have done differently? Well, if you were just right here, nice and slow, you can see everything unfolding. You can do a little mini loop if we need to, but you'll be always kind of nice and close for a pass out. If we are, instead of you're now occupying the right wing space, gotta go loop back around, this and that. A lot of wasted effort for nothing. And here we go, now we have a backwards pivot. Yeah. And then, so the winger is there. We would have wanted to see some support up the middle, but there is none because we're at center ice. So, a lot of problems here. And then while she realizes, well, I need to go all the way back, and now an awkward position, receive the puck, and you're not able to get it cleanly. You have to do this one-hand pass, right? Versus. Nice middle support, and as he comes up, you can come in with speed, boom, forward, everything's nice and smooth, right? Nothing, no need to do figure eights around the entire rink, like so, wasting energy. Alright, here's a little funny one. Well, we got a big banana peel, boom, first of all. Alright, a little bit of mistake, I think, on Rayhan's part. He bumps it off to Carrie Ann. But what I would have okay, why is that a mistake? It's not a mistake passing it off to Carrie Ann. What he does is he bumps it off and then turns back into the zone, which is like super awkward. It doesn't make any sense. What I would have liked to have seen is he actually keeps it. So you keep it, gather that speed, carry it over, and then get back into the zone. Because you're going to be the main source of attack, you're the wing, so you're going to get back in the zone whenever it clears up. If we're not, if we need to wait for the reset, that's fine. Then you can pass it back, and then we build up speed together. But what's awkward is you pass it off, and then you turn back in the zone as if we're going back on the attack straight away. We need to carry it in the zone. You also need to wait for your teammates to get back on side. So that's kind of a reason why I thought it was awkward. All right, here's another example. Here is Mr. Dennis out in the zone. He is just ripe for abuse. How are we not taking advantage of this? This pass is going to be a big stretch pass. How are we not eating this up? Easiest pass, intercept. It's so, like, the stretch passes are so far, it's not easy to get it to him, and so we're able to get these turnovers. But come on, Ray, we should have been able to intercept that. And I want to contrast our other center. Jess is our other center for this game. Much better positioning on the breakouts, and here's the stark difference: the timing. We don't need to go too fast. We're still, body position is facing forward. What does that mean? You're watching the play the whole time, and that allows, boom, easy pass up, and now we're able to make some decisions on where to go. We did get stripped, but that's kind of just red tape on red tape action. But we're able to get that puck on her tape and up on the attack. Alright, so we've talked about if we're too high, and we're like, even here Dave is in a fairly okay spot. But even then, if a defense is paying attention, you're going to be sometimes a victim of the pinch. Right there, he was the victim of the pinch. And that's kind of why a lot of times, unless it's really, really clear, that I would advise kind of cruising down even further down the ice. And then that way, like, if you're skating this way, you will receive it, and then you're still kind of going down, and then you can turn up, and that just makes it really, really awkward for them to come and pinch. But here it is, and we can say, like, you can see how Dave already was a victim of the pinch, and he's in a pretty fairly good spot. Now imagine, in a lot of other instances when we're all the way up high in this area, it just makes it a lot easier for a turnover. Alright, we got a shift right here defensively. I think not as great as I would like it to be. But let's break down. Wow. Okay, well, the first thing is that's pretty awkward. What's going on? Anyways. First stage of defense and breakout, not great. Yeah, Rayhan is not on the defense. Let's continue. We got one shot on net. Towards the net, not great. Alright. So Fee breaks up the play, but decides, okay, trying to feed it to Kathy, I guess is not the worst thing in the world. I will allow it. The Rays getting pressured. Oh, okay. So this is a kind of an instance where, Rayhan, you gotta abuse the fact that you got that red tape and just carry it out of the zone. I see maybe you're trying to get it, I don't know, actually, were you just trying to clear it out of the zone? And because of that, I guess Steve's able to walk the zone, like walk the line and get a shot on net. Alright, so let's see. Here's the other one, awkward, the breakout for the center. Feet, you need to be in the middle to support Ray. And so you can see it's super awkward as you start moving towards the wing, where the right wing is already occupying. So therefore, we don't have anyone in the middle. Just what your role is. Sent back down. Oh, what the? And Ray sends it back down low. He's already done all the hard work to get it up the ice, and he sends it back down. That is a big. That's egregious. That's just terrible. No, let's not mince words. That was just terrible. Alright, not able to clear the zone. Another puck shot down the zone. Okay, now Ray has the puck. Bounces it against the wall. Had a really awkward bounce. Now we should be in a pretty good shape. I guess it would be nice if we had a center that isn't going for a change in the middle of defending. Like, what is that? What? What? Okay. I mean, I'm left speechless right now. I actually wanted to point this one out. Body positioning, focus on Alex. He's hustling towards the net, which is a good thing. But his body positioning, I think, is not as great. You see how he stops up and positions himself in a backhand roll. If he just shifted himself a little bit more like this, so that his body is facing the net, then he'd be in a forehand position where he can just shoot it in instead of this backhand one-timer. Just awkward. And then right after that, gets the puck, perfect position. Come on, get it up here, move it along the ice. He decides to force it through the middle. Oh, it's painful. We could do better. We could do better. Alright, this one defensively horrible. Let's kind of break it down first of all. So Ernest gets pressured. So he takes it by the hat. This is where it's fine. This is perfectly fine. Now it's just trying to buy time for defense, center, wingers to get into position. His mistake was he's seeing this player coming this way. He should have just double back around. You're just going to be doing ring around the rosy, but leads it to an area that he's going to get pressured, and then he panic, rims it around the board. So after that point, his responsibility at this point, after giving it up, is this player, right? And what does he do? He's cruising up, cruising up, cruising up, cruising up, and who's his responsibility? The guy that almost scores, and Cliff bails him out. Alright, we talked about the weak side D having a lot of freedom to go where they need to go, and Kathy does actually a very good job seeing that all these players are down in the zone, so she can sneak right in into a very dangerous spot. And look, the puck comes out. Just gets blocked, but really good chance right there. Alright, here's an offensive attack. There's some good, there's some bad. Let's pick on it. Fancy moves that ended up working out. Let's look at like a fancy drop pass to Dave. Well, I don't like that as much. So he's got pressure on him. Backhand pass that hits someone. I don't know. Not a big fan. Throws it out front, and it hits a couple skates and loose. So maybe lucky there. What I don't like is how concentrated we are there. We're not really spacing out. And also note that no one has covered for Ray. So maybe a little sketchy action going on here. Anyways, a jamming away, loose puck. Shot, save. He was able to win on the race here. Pass across to Rayhan. Now here's one thing, Rayhan, is if you don't see anything, like what you do next is not wrong. There's also these options right here. But you can also consider skating up the ice to find some better angles, skating towards the middle, things like that. But what you did was not wrong. You decided to pass it back to Dave. Nothing wrong with that, but consider some other options as well. Pass up to Kathy, also great. Decides to skate towards the middle, probably a shot coming up. Shot, but blocked. I don't mind it. Sends back down low. We go for a change. So some good, maybe some forced passes. I'd like to have seen maybe we're making use of our D a little bit more. Otherwise, it was okay. Alright, so right here we're actually going to see a sequence that leads up to our first goal. A lot of good things I wanted to break down from our red tape's positioning. So we see how we are able to recently, let's watch the whole thing. I'll come back and break it down, some good things. And that's the goal. Okay, so let's break it down. Some key things I think were quite important. So whenever we have, Kathy has a puck. She obviously has pressure coming in. So there's one forechecker, two forecheckers, and she doesn't have her D partner quite yet. So Jess is going to be filling in right there. So yeah, I guess ideally we would have had a D partner here. Then she's ready to help out in the middle. But she's kind of in a close enough position that it's not going to be a big deal. She's trying to get to the other side. Not a problem. It's a bit of an awkward position to pass to her right now. That's understandable. But as long as we got people, if Kathy loses it, we're still going to be somewhat okay. Now, key things right here is get nice and low. So right hand a little bit high, right? And we've kind of said if the defense is paying attention, really easy for them to come and pinch. However, if we get nice and low, we're like at the hash marks. It makes it much more awkward for the D. Like they'll be more nervous to come down so far into the zone because we can punish them for coming down. Now, another thing I really liked was right here. I get slowed down by the red tape, maybe a slight hook, but couldn't skate up with speed. And because we go back around, excellent, we see Jess and Rayhan, they turn back around. That's another key thing I wanted to note. A lot of us in the past, with all the red tapes, they just keep going. They keep going up, and then they go up to that blue line. It's not great. It's very hard to get the puck on the attack. So Rayhan does a good job doubling back. Jess, same with Jess, coming back at least kind of to the blue line. I mean, I would say it'd be even nicer if they come down even lower, but this is not bad. And what this allows, rather than if we're being here, rather than all the way at the blue line, is nice short passes. So Kathy to Rayhan is able to get it to Jess because he's able to have that time to settle it down and start skating forward rather than being all the way at that blue line. And now we're going on the attack with some level of speed. Jess is able to bonk it off the goalie's pad and we're able to score. So excellent goal. Another funny thing is, even though Kathy started up that play, she hops off the ice. So she's not able to get that plus, and she's able to give that to Ernest to collect. Alright, and then, you know what? Talking about perfect examples. Reset. Right, we're coming back this way. What do we see? Not much indication of a reset, therefore very difficult to get the passes up. And I probably would have wanted to just see Alex send it back to the D first, and then we can all work with some speed together. And instead we get a turnover. Alright, so this was pretty funny. Kathy's got the puck. She's coming up with speed. Look at her. Boom. Zooming down the ice. And Rayhan just, you know what? I would argue that shouldn't have been called offside, but I guess you lifted your skate up, Rayhan, and therefore offside. Bummer. Wait, or was it Jess? No, it was definitely Rayhan. Alright, here's another example. Rayhan, you had an opportunity. I think you just gather it up and go with speed. Or, alternatively, is actually you pick it up, but you go straight through the zone and then pick up speed through the zone like that. But you do a little bit of a bump out and then turn away. You see how, like that? So it ends up being a turnover, but it also puts it like it's super awkward because you bump it, turn away, So it kind of puts you in a tough spot to even receive the puck back. But yeah. All right, here comes the attack. I'm gonna have to have a knock on our D, but Kathy gets there in time, so that's good. But where is Ray? He's completely off the screen and they're already in the zone. Anyway, she does a good job keeping it in and keeping it deep into the zone, so that's an excellent job. Unfortunately, it is a turnover, but you know what? Let's just watch. We got about a minute left. Let's see what we. Ooh, nice poke check. Very nice on the blue line too. Look, look, look. Oh, excellent. That's going to be cause for an offside. Look at that. Look at that. Arms up, offside. Killing the play. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Now Dave's on the forecheck. What kind of support has he got? Oh, Kathy has got the support, and oh, big penalty right there. Big penalty. Past the red tape, and he tries to take it off the red tape. No can do. We got ourselves a power play coming up. Alright, so period's over pretty much. We got like 15 seconds burned on the power play. It is what it is. Let's skip ahead. So 15 seconds on the ice, and face off win too powerful, so we have to go all the way back into the zone. Now we got 10 seconds into the game, minute 35 on the power play. Alright, no problem. Ernest gets it, going on the attack, passes it too far ahead, but we do kind of get in the zone right here. Boom. Right? It has now been what? Another 10 seconds, so 20 seconds in this period. And Ernest decides to go for a change. What the is that? This is ridiculous. You're like, if you're gonna play 10 seconds, 20 seconds of a period, and you like your first initial plan was to go on the attack, right? You rush the puck, you pass it up, you're getting into the zone, and then you just decide, okay, we're finally getting in the zone. We're gonna go in the zone right now. You know what? What a perfect time to go for a change. This is the best time on a power play. We got only 3 attackers against 4. Let's go for a change. I mean, if you're gonna do that, you better just change at the beginning of the period. It hasn't like it. Oh my god. So now we get the puck in. We're looking around. We say, where the fuck is everybody? There is nobody. We got nobody at the attack. And the other problem is Neon's hiding in the back door, and so the vision, like it's completely blocked by this player, and all we see is, okay, we got one guy in the slot with the back turned. What kind of power play is this? Where is everybody? But she eventually moves out to the slot. Kind of a chance, but there, we finally get our D in the zone. We would have liked that way earlier. Let's see if the clock shows up. 58 seconds. It's been 45 seconds of this period, and 20 of them we didn't even have a power play. We just went on a penalty kill all of a sudden. Okay, that's fun. All right, let's watch the next 58 seconds. See what kind of awesome fun we can do. So this is the time to go for a change. They've dumped the puck. 30 seconds, a minute into the period. Okay, now it makes sense to go for a change, not when it's literally 20 seconds of the period. All right, so 40 seconds. Let's see what we can do with this attack. Okay, let's not ever do that again. What's with these one-touch smack punt? Come on, Kathy. Come on, Kathy. You can do better than that. He's already gonna set Alex up for failure with this pass with that rocket. We got another turnover. Not turning into a very good power play, is it? They dump it down the ice one more time. Can we get in the zone? That's the next question. 15 seconds left. Oh, goodness. Oh. The answer is no. We have no power play. Alright, now it's 5 on 5. Let's just watch because we got in the zone. Yeah, we got no power play. Alright, going to attack. Good chance right here. Fee has it and decides to pass across. Why? Why? Why don't you just shoot it? Alright, one of the things Jess has been pretty consistent on is being open for the breakout passes up the middle. So that's actually quite good to see for the first time center. I mean, at least for the season. So that's pretty good. Alright, we got an offensive shift. Let's watch it, break it down, see if there's any noteworthy things. Pass out to the slot. Couldn't quite get a clean pass. That's perfectly fine. Dave's in a good spot right here. I like the drive by Kathy. Pass across the crease. Nothing really connected there. Positionally, we look good. We look decent right now. Shot on net in the middle lane from Ray. Good to see that. And then turnover. Yeah, I think positionally we were good. Maybe less forced passes if we can. Which does mean everyone needs to get into more support positions. So like for example, right here, I would have preferred Fee to get down behind the net or Lena get up on the half wall. Because right, we're not giving Dave any options. So that's kind of like some cons, some not so good things right in this shift. Alright, here's another play right here. Good pressure by Jess. Pass across. And Kathy paying attention once again. Very good job. Boom. Interception goes for a breakaway chance right here. Big save by Jeff, but no, she is on the ball defensively in this game so far. Not a lot of big things I've noticed that were a problem. Now, unfortunately, this is a pretty funny shift. Notice that Kathy's down there on attack, so we are supporting on her, and therefore I am coming in to fill for one of the defense positions. We don't have Carrie Ann on the picture right now, but we've kind of talked before. Puck is on the right hand side, so let's put some players on that side. Now take a look at here. Alex should not be on the ice. Alex should not be on the ice. So we're going back, defending. This is perfectly fine. We look around and we see, well, we see Alex is there, so we think, okay, no problem. We got a lefty, we got a righty. Because Carrie Ann is back here. Gap control is not great. We've kind of talked about that before, but no, we're fine defensively. So then I'll just play right wing, no problem. And Alex is not paying attention. He's not paying attention. Who's this player's responsibility? It's Alex's. If he's going to play that lefty position, he's better pay attention. He did not pay attention. And we got a goal scored on Cliff. It's a 1-1 tie. So the best part is we have too many men on the ice. So we get a minus. Alex hops on the ice to collect a minus and confuse everyone and misses a defensive assignment to give him the 1-1 tie and then hops off the ice. Alright, I know I've been harping about the wingers skating back towards the zone. Whenever we see the defense with the puck, we don't want to just leave the zone. Number one, right? We don't want to skate off to Narnia. I've always harped on that. Sometimes it makes sense, but for our level, I really recommend coming back and helping out just because it's building on the basics. And as long as we're skating towards, right, we're coming down low, make it awkward for the D that they can't come and pinch down on you. And then you're also able to face the puck carrier. That means, boom, you can receive the puck. Once you receive it, you can make a turn up the ice. And I'm pretty sure most of us are able to do that to some capacity, whether you do C cuts, whatever. It doesn't have to be a tight turn. Do whatever you can at this level, and it'll be perfectly fine. And then the other thing is Jess is ready in the middle. She's not off in Narnia. Easy pass straight up the middle, and now she can skate it up ice. Right? All amazing things. Alright, I know I've been harping on Alex all game, but good read right here, and he gets a breakaway chance, semi-breakaway. Not able to get a shot off, but good chance right there. And he's able to grind away some level of offense, but not bad, not bad. Alright, wow, big keep by Ray. Here's the offensive shift. Let's take a watch. He sees no option, passes it over to Alex. I like it. Again, here Alex is filling in as that D role. I would have liked to see him walk that towards the middle and then bring it to that middle lane for a shot. However, what does he do instead? He's trying to do a force pass into the slot, right? Just feeding her to the wolves, surrounded by everybody. So again, I think we're doing too many force passes to the middle. It's not my favorite, but know what it is. See, another one, backhand force pass. It can work. The reason why it's called a force pass, like, it doesn't mean it can't work. It can work, but you're just forcing it into a not advantageous position. So it is what it is. All right, minute 18 left. So Fee's in a better position. So was able to get a puck touch there, but she got stepped up on. So here we go, puck's back towards the D. I would have liked to see everyone falling back. Would have probably also like to see Kathy not lose it there, but it is what it is. All right, let's see the breakout. Pass over to Kathy. And too far up, right? Another example of too far up, ripe for the abuse. Therefore, they can just intercept the puck. All right, let's go for try number 3. So he's got the puck now, passes it to Ray. I don't know what what is it that, especially like we pass it across, right? And we know the pass was not great, and we know there's pressure coming in. So then why are we just leaving the zone and not giving any support at all? I guess that's okay. Alright, let's go for a 4th try on the breakout. Alright, let's go for a 5th try for the breakout. We have 3 seconds left. Let's see if we could do it. No. Alright, 1-1 tie game. I think Kathy had a really good game, and I think Jess did a really good job playing center for the first time. Yeah, not a bad game. 1-1 tie. We can all harp on Alex the next time we see him in the locker room for stepping on the ice and giving us a -1 tie game and almost a penalty, but because they scored, we didn't get a penalty, so maybe consider that lucky for him. Anyways, if you enjoy this, please like, please subscribe, recommend it to some friends if you enjoyed it and you think it might be helpful for them. Leave a comment. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.